Hi there, it's Toby from Toby's Urban Sketch, and today we are thinking about proportions. And we're going to be thinking about three simple ways that we can measure proportions and get our image accurate. So, way number one is simply measuring with a pen or a finger. What you can do, if you have a reference, you can literally put your pen on the reference and go, well, my line is from here to here. Mark it with your finger, take it back to your paper, and then you can draw that line. And then you can go to the next line and go, well, it's this long on the reference, so bring it down, yep, and it goes there. And then you can join things up. And you can also you might have measured these lines as well. And you might measure the angle. So you go to your reference, you get your pen on it, and then you bring it back to your paper at that exact angle. And now you know not just the length, but also the angle of the line you're going to draw. And by doing that, you can sort of gradually build up a series of measured lines and start building up your shapes in your image, and before you know it, you'll have your sort of street. When you get to the more sort of the small details and things like that, the measuring becomes less important, and so you can just start to sort of eyeball in these roofs and things like that. And there you go. So that's way number one, is just simply measuring using your finger and a pen and just getting these approximate measurements of all your different big lines. Now, that's a bit time consuming. It's probably the most accurate way of doing it, but it is a little bit more labor intensive. So what do I most prefer? I most prefer doing comparative measuring. So if we take this scene and we call this our focal point, I will normally take the longest line in my focal point and set it on my page. So if we called this area, if we said that this was my frame, I've now set my focal point, the longest line in my focal point, well within this frame. And from there, I can do some comparative measuring. So I can just have a look at the reference and go, well, we've got this line, this is the longest. The next one's about 2/3 the length of that one. So let's draw one about 2/3 the length. The next one's maybe 2/3 again. And then maybe the next one's the same length. So we can suddenly build up those lines. That's not as accurate, but it's much quicker. And it leads us to be a lot more flexible and creative with how we've built up our scene. Again, you can then eyeball in all the little details, or you could continue to do sort of these comparative measurements. And then I said there's three ways. So what's the last way of doing it? Well, the last way is also quick and also something I use an awful lot of the time. I'll just use this bottom corner of my page now to show you. And with this, it's how you can sort of just use shapes you already have. So perhaps you've drawn in the front of the house here, but then using this shape, you can work out where other shapes relate to it. So let's call it relatable measuring for sake of argument. So what do I mean by that? Well, we can look at a distant building perhaps and see on the reference, where does that building intersect? And so if it intersects here, we know that the line comes to here. And then it intersects just under the roof line here. So we can draw in that line. And then we could do the same with, there's another building behind, which this roof line is just below the other roof line. So we can do that and bring that across. And then maybe the next one, the roof sits, it's an angle and it's just touching the top there. And then we can do that line and that line. And before you know it, again, you've got a different way of measuring. This will be accurate in a different way. So in this form of measuring, you'll have the proportions or the relative shapes hitting each other at the right points. Things will relate to each other in the right way, but the sizes might not be perfect. Again, it's quick and it's creative and it's a fun way of sketching. So how can you practice these things? Well, I just want to show you quickly a couple of reference image ideas. So if we look at this one first, we can have a look at how we might put what I've just been talking about into practice. Now for me, this line here, this would be the longest line of the focal point, and my focal point would be sort of this area. So what we could do, we could draw in this line, measuring it exactly with our pen, and then we could measure this line here and the angle, and then measure this line, and we could draw all these in, and that would be using the accurate measuring technique to gradually build up all these shapes. Now the other thing we could do is fix this line in. This is the longest vertical line of our focal point, and then we could start going, well, if this is, you know, one long line, this is probably 4/5 of it, this is probably 2/3 of it, and we could draw in these separate lines and use our comparative measuring, going all the way back and building up our shapes that way. And then the third option would be to sort of build that line and then just go, well, where would this intersect? It would be about there. So we build that, and we can see this roof line actually overlaps slightly. So we do another line here, which is slightly overlapping. And then we can draw that this roof line here touches the corner of this roof line. And we can start building up our shapes. We can see that here this roof line is in the middle of, so the ridge of this roof at the back is in the middle of the angle of this roof. We can see that this again is just below this roof line, so the front roof line, and then in the back it's below. But then this one even further back, it's actually higher. So we can start just building up our shapes by how they relate to each other. And each of these methods have got advantages, disadvantages, speed, accuracy, creativity. They'll be accurate in different ways, I'll say. For me, the second and third ways are how I usually work, but say if it's really important to be accurate, I'll do a lot of measuring as well. Now, what's another thing that we could do instead of finding lots of buildings and things to practice? Well, we could do some simple still lifes. Now, you could do this from the internet. You could literally Google. I've Googled here wine still life, and you could have a look through and find something you wanted to sketch. Or you could go and put a load of plates and cups and fruit in front of you and see what you'd like to do. And practically, how would this work? Well, you could measure everything. So you could measure the width of this wine cup, the width of this wine cup, the length, and then you could draw the ellipses around that, and you could build up all of your shapes. Then you could measure the length here of this wine bottle above the glass and the length of the top of it. And then you could sort of measure the bottom as well. Now the other ways would be to pick a wine glass. So if I drew this wine glass in, I could then start measuring against it. So I could go, well, this one's very slightly smaller, so let's pop it in a little bit smaller than this one. And I can see that this because it's further away, this is also very slightly shorter than this one, so I'll pop it in a bit shorter. The wine bottle is clearly probably 2.5 times the size of these wine glasses, probably 2 times. So let's draw this twice the size, and then this is the top of this wine bottle is probably the size of the amount of liquid in there. So we can do that version, or we can start comparing things. We draw this wine glass in again, and we get the sort of relatable measuring by going, well, this wine glass is slightly higher and the base is slightly higher, and then the actual where it's touching the table is much higher. So we'll draw all those points in, and they just cross here, so they just overlap. So we'll get that overlap in. We can see the wine bottle kind of comes down the middle of the wine glass and then slightly to the side of it, and we can see where these grapes touch the wine bottle, and we can see how they relate to the wine glass as well, and we can do that in this more relaxed way. So let's have a think. If we just play with this idea of doing a still life, let's see what I would actually do in practice. And for this little demo, we're just going to use this fun little reference photo here. The way that I would approach that would be to draw the wine glass in and just get it nice, roughly the right size, right shape. And then I'd sort of go across and I'd put my candle in here. Then I'd start building up. Here's the ellipse, and I know the candle's just above it. And then the candle sort of has a lip which comes down and around. and then it ends about here, which is just below where we lose track of the wine glass. Got all these grapes in here, and then we've got a wine bottle at the side. It's very close, so we put it right next to it, but the sort of shoulder is at the top of the wine glass, and then the actual bottle ends higher than everything else. So the top of the bottle is going to go up there, and then bring that down, and this ends a little bit lower than here, but higher than here. And again, lots of grapes sitting around there. And this isn't perfect, but it's quick, it's fun, and it's alive. So just to recap in this sort of hopefully brief and useful video, 3 different ways of measuring. You can literally use your pen or your finger, even a ruler, I guess, and measure the exact length of different lines and the angles. And that can be very useful, but it's a bit more time consuming. You can then, instead, you can do relative measurements. You can put in one line and then measure things against it. So if this is, a whole line, this might be half, this might be 3/4. Or you can do relatable measuring. So we've got this box, and then there's another box which is touching this box there, but ending a little bit lower and overlapping a tiny bit, and you start building up shapes relative to each other. I hope that's been helpful. I hope this helps with just having fun sketching proportions, giving you a few ideas and things to try. And of course, I hope you have a good rest of your days. Thank you for watching.